We meet again. I'm very excited. I'm actually going to use a deck I've already used because Spirit told me to. So when Spirit tells me to do something, I work really hard to listen to them. So Mystical Wisdom is the deck, written by Gay Guthrie and art by Josephine Wall. And I don't have a particular theme in mind today. When I'm seeing my Reiki clients, or even when I'm teaching Reiki, I'm all about like, okay, what's your intention for this right here? So um, I love when people know exactly what they're coming to address in terms of healing. And I love when people are like, I'm just open to what needs to come up. Oftentimes those things are already things that we feel and know in those deep down ways, and it's like spirit is always trying to like open our eye, like our third eye, that crack a little more, like there is and there are things to see in terms of spirit communicating with us, about what we need to do in our lives, and ways in which we can do that. Spirit's always communicating with us. And sometimes being open to what spirit is trying and wanting to do, but is sort of needing us to release our human control of like, here's my plan, and this is my plan, and it can only be this, versus like, when I make a vision board, I like to leave room for the universe. So I have my specific things, and then I have space too. Like I love to just look at the color. Like it's funny, actually, they're the colors of this dress that I have on, and one is pink and one is the green. And I just love looking at the color and being like, what else? Like, part of the fun of a spiritual journey and manifesting is like, sky is literally the limit. Like there's like, how open do you want to go? And as someone who's a Cancer, so we already know, I'm a spiritual freak, and I'm like, okay, one just fell down. As a Cancer, I like to get up close and personal. Um, but yeah, like I love it. I encourage everyone, like, be open to taking the journey, like, turn over the rock. Don't you want to see and really be like, yo, this is ooh. But I love that. I'm like, ooh, that's how I'm a freak. I'm like, oh, like, ooh, it's a little dark over here. And I'm like, oh, there's some gunk over there. Hey. Let me come in there. I'm a Care Bear spare you, and we're gonna sort it out. So I look at that as growth for myself, and I encourage all of my clients and all of the people who I communicate with, mentor, and teach, and everything. It's really about finding those moments and taking the time daily to be like, there's always an invitation to take on a healing goal. Coming in again. So back it up. What is it for you today? And just knowing that, like, even acknowledging it and then like being like, meh, like hiding again, is that's awesome. To me, I'm like, yes. I love when you know. Because once you know, you can't unknow. I know some of you are like, I'm like, no, you actually can't. Your body will remind you. So once you know, it's like, um, oh, I know. I'm so solution oriented. So I'm like, how do we fix this? What can we do? What can you do? What can I do? How can we do? Anything else that we need to share today? Hey, did you see that one? Ho, was this one? Okay. I think I had a past life probably as like a circus, um, like ringmaster. Hey, oh. But anyway, yeah, that's, oh, and my animal print. It's really funny because I was like, I should do the past life deck. So I think my next video will do the past life deck because it's so cool. Um, and it's funny because a lot of my clients are really starting to want to talk more about past lives. And you already know, as a spiritual freak, I'm like, let's go there, okay? I seriously went to outer space one time. We'll talk about that another time. I'm still processing. So I can just feel like some of my friends who are like, "Yeah, is that a real story?" It's funny as you continue down a spiritual path and like have all these different experiences. Whereas if someone isn't doing that, it's really hard to comprehend that, like, is this person telling me the truth? But it's really true because I've had spiritual mentors who are like freaking eons beyond me. And I'm like, is that really? Like, wow, I can't. But then I've had experiences like that where other people are like, oh yeah, it's good, girl. Like, don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Let's get into what. Whoa. I don't know if you saw that, but it like came and I caught it. Anyways, okay. I'm curious. I feel very like interesting vibes today out there. I know our last one was like the heaviness that's around. So I'm kind of feeling like this is like a follow-up from the last card reading that I had. Um yeah, I don't remember what deck I had. Anyway, go watch the video because chances are if you're watching this, you will probably be able to resonate with the previous video. So, our first card today, Angel of Miracles. Open your heart and expect a miracle. Spirit, okay. If you are working in core healing, if you're in that healing place of your life, I am working on core healing right now, and this is exactly what's up from our last reading that is totally the follow through. So I'm so curious to know if this, even just hearing that at all, and me reading the title was you were like, oh my gosh, because I know I was. Okay. Angels shine a divine light of intelligence made of the highest and purest of the Holy Spirit. Angels bestow gifts and miracles upon you, appearing in many forms: a bird, a butterfly, an animal, or the brightest and only flower in blossom. When coincidences, synchronicities, and miracles start to happen in your life, you know that the angels are with you. The angels also assist and guide you during life changes or challenges, comforting you to the next stage of your journey. Anything is possible with angels, so you can expect a positive outcome knowing the angels have heard your prayers. The mantra is I believe in miracles. You know, why not us? Why not now? Like, I've been having this conversation with a couple girlfriends of mine. It's like, girl, why not right now? Why not us? Why not what like we're doing the work. We're on our hustle. We're on our like living with integrity flow and really wanting to like claim and own who we are authentically and branch out into the world and connect and heal. So yeah, why not us now? Like we've been doing the work for a really long time. So, you know, for those of you out there who've been doing the work for a really long time and something good is happening, it makes sense to feel like, oh, this just cannot be true. But it can be. And it does happen. And there will be a time when it's our turn. That's why there's all that focus on like when someone does something great or has an accomplishment or shares something. And it's like, how we feel about seeing that. Are we personalizing it and making it a rejection of like all the things we feel like we're not doing and judging ourselves in terms of our worth? Or can we look at their success and be like, yes, and still be able to be like, yo, I have some work to do. That's okay. Like what is for us isn't missing us. Period. There isn't a human who has that power. And I feel like a lot of us really need to start owning and claiming that more. And what that is what I just said, but I'll say it again so that it's even more clear. There isn't a person who is more powerful than spirit, period. Human, no. And I get there's money and power and all that stuff. We all know that's not what I'm talking about. In terms of energy, there is no greater than. That's why if you're someone who is an empath, and or are in tune with like who you are outside of your human body in this life in this form, then you get what I'm talking about. And if you're not, if you come from a group of people who maybe don't think that, um, it's kind of worth exploring. It's pretty fascinating, and I think that it helps me understand who I am more. So I encourage you to do that too, because the more we can really understand ourselves, we sort of can like adapt our healing to what we need. Which is also why Reiki is wonderful because Reiki really goes with what you need. It isn't about your practitioner. It's not about our agenda or what we think. It's about you and how Reiki needs to facilitate healing for you today in this moment. So, really just know that good things can happen to us and it can be us. And when we're doing the stuff we're supposed to, we do get blessed and rewarded. And so it can be. And it's also up to us to trust ourselves to be like, I am discerning. So I can vet a person. I can vet a job scenario. I can vet a school of my choice that I might be applying to. We can filter through that because when you are doing the work in those consistent ways, that becomes a little bit easier to do. So, um, I think it's really great to like allow yourself to feel excited energy about something really wonderful happening for you and that it could be true and that it can happen. And just feel good. Allow yourself to feel good. Our next card is Archangel Gabriel, messenger of creativity, ooh, and hope. Nice. He speaks to you through your heart and soul. Gabriel me, which means God is my strength, guides hopeful parents in fertility and child conception, giving them courage and strength. He is the angel of communication in the arts, inspiring and motivating you in your creative pursuit. His presence offers enthusiasm and encouragement in the creative fields. He guides artists, authors, musicians, and dancers to reach their full potential and live their purpose. If you work with children, personally or professionally, you will find Gabriel by your side with loving guidance and support. And the mantra is I follow the guidance of my heart. What we want is all inside us, our secret dreams, what makes us happy. I love that it was like he guides artists, authors, musicians, dancers, like artists of all different kinds. And that can go from like being an artist in the kitchen to actually painting a picture to making up like anything. There are no limits with art and creation, right? So what I feel like the pandemic has really been doing for us has been showing us what we can do and how we can sustain ourselves in ways that are outside of maybe us, the system and the structure, right? So express your creativity. This is why we're here. You will succeed. You will thrive. It may not be according to your entire plan, because we have to make room for the universe. But start your plan, keep going on your plan, be willing to edit. Like I've mentioned before, a girlfriend and I are like flexible planning all the way. It's our jam. Let's get the plan, let's like make room for the universe. And we're going to keep on getting the traction going because hard work and perseverance and dedication, and really having faith in what you feel inside as a calling, is a really huge act of courage. And I encourage you to continue doing things to go that way because you're really being supported. Like these are two angel cards. So like not only the angels of miracles, but also Archangel Gabriel. So that alone is like, this is very divinely, um, accessible. It's here for us now. So start to tune in and tap into that. And again, allow yourself to feel good. Um, to have an angel around children is wonderful. We all have a child and or children who we love with all our hearts in our lives. And for those who are wanting to be parents or in that journey of pregnancy or trying to conceive, really just tuning and tapping into the strength that the angels provide in terms of protecting you and really having that process go well. So you can do a lot of spiritual work, and Reiki is wonderful for all of those things to facilitate all of those outcomes that we're wanting. I'm so happy about the next card. For people who know me, like, I'm all about keeping it real and being honest. I don't need to be mean about it, but I am a very straight shooting person. I was raised by two Sagittarians, so you already know. Or maybe you don't, and then look it up, and then you'll know. Okay. So I'm glad we're talking about this today because part of doing the healing work means, like when I mentioned earlier, like turn the rock over. We're examining bugs. We're like, what needs to be cleaned up? What needs to be removed? Where are we tripping ourselves up? And so we have seven deadly sins, humanity's destructive traits. Welcome to the world of human nature. The seven deadly sins are at the root of all destructive behavior. Greed and other negative traits drive harmful human activity that impacts the quality of life on Earth, particularly the environment. It's a lack of concern for the preservation of Mother Earth and all these humans' destructive traits that are leading to the devastation of life on this planet. What the seven deadly sins mean: sloth, laziness, being physically and emotionally inactive, gluttony, overindulgence in anything to the point of waste. As I read through, I'm already like, yee, these are heavy. So start to make mental edits in when you hear these, like, ooh, where do I have work to do? Because it's not about like, so I grew up Catholic, so I know all about like shame, like get the hair shirt on and whip yourself and like you're evil and you sin. So I get all that jazz. Um, for me, this is about not it being like you're so bad. It's like where's the work? What do you need to do? Let's just take the judgment out. And again, that's a process. It's okay to be wherever you are with that, but remove the judgment as much as you can and just kind of look at it as like, okay, well, how am I overindulging to the point of like waste? Like, what does that look like? So maybe it's like actual physical waste within my home, but maybe it's like mental and emotional waste. Maybe it's spending too much time or overindulging in time with people who are not really like giving to us what we need or serving for our like highest purpose. And who are those people? Because we're always cultivating our life. Like our lives is like maintaining a garden. So it's not just one thing, it's everything. And when I give Reiki, I say that to all my clients. When I look at you, I see all of your chakras as what's in your garden as beautiful, you know, uniqueness to your garden, and your aura and energy is the soil. And so we need to like go in and clean stuff out energetically to create healthy space and fresh and new space for like fresh and new things to come in. So Reiki is a wonderful thing to do. However, it's something like we can just practice daily in terms of being willing to release certain things. Lust, an intense desire for physical and sexual gratification. Greed, excessive pursuit of material possessions and power. Wrath, extreme feelings of uncontrollable anger. Envy, discontentment aroused by another's good fortune. Remember, we talked about that earlier too, right? um, Pride, excessive self love, and arrogance. So take notes and what do you need to do? Like everyone has to do something, so it's not like it's like sorry, it's only you, just you have to do it. It's like no, I'm trust me, I'm taking notes too. Um, and this is part of doing the work is that sometimes it does feel like work and then we have to feel feelings about the things that we're doing because what sort of facilitates a cycle in terms of healing being something that like there's layers of it that sort of like get completed and you elevate and you keep going up. And part of that process is actually having an emotional release because you need to cleanse those energies from within through tears. And that's like a final sort of step in terms of whatever brings you to tears. So I'm a really huge fan of having those cries as you need to. And if you're like me and you're a really busy parent, sometimes it's like through watching a movie or having a shower or something like in those moments when we're feeling that low and we need to do that, or like sharing with a friend. So you can, if you're in the struggle to be vulnerable, which we all experience, it's like, how can you step outside a little bit to make sure you're fostering and like working on your own relationship with you trusting yourself and being able to also trust someone else, because you will be able to share something with another person who will be able to receive what you have to say to them. And that goes back to also thinking about who's in our lives, right? Next card is Dolphin. Don't worry, be happy. The dolphin has the spiritual ability to uplift your spirits with its friendly, playful nature. Escape from the stress of life by being more relaxed and doing more of what you enjoy. Yes. Enjoyment tip. Enjoyment tip. It's like so what I'm embracing because I'm like, no, I'm having fun. Forget it. I'm 41 and I'm having fun. Damn it. So I'm like, I don't care. I don't business. This is what I want to do with my whole life. I'm like, I'm gonna laugh almost all day, every day, because a gal likes to have a good time. So I love it. Let's channel dolphin energy and bring our energy up and like have fun. Because how many of us have been going through it during this pandemic? Trust me, that's a whole other YouTube video. Um, we need to have fun. Yes, pursue your creative passions and use your energy in a more productive way. Yes. See, these are the tricks and the tips and the tickets to like get to really where you want to go. Try not to worry about issues you have no control over. So if you're like me, you might want to chat to a friend about it. You might need to like mentally vent, or actually verbally vent. Like I like to think a lot, and then I have to like get it out. I also get Reiki because I need it. So um, control, as we know, is a doozy, but let's work on letting it go, which the next card you're going to laugh with me about. So, just understanding that the worrying can become a habit. So, by taking a more relaxed and laid back attitude, you can conquer your stress and become more calm and content. And the mantra is I love to be playful and let go of worry. And so, in terms of this, I don't know if you've heard of cognitive behavioral therapy, otherwise known as CBT. You totally should Google it. You totally should look into it. That would be a whole other video of me explaining it. But it's a wonderful tool in healing and like taking the thoughts that are not the helpful thoughts and catching it and reframing it in a way that is much more conducive to reality. So, it's something I do all the time. I talk to all of my clients about it in lots of different ways. It's wonderful. So definitely seek that out. It will help because our brain can be trained. It takes some time. So you really can retrain your brain because some of us grew up in homes where there was a lot of worry, or maybe um, like if that wasn't our case, we experienced later in life and then how that impacted us. So we all have our own relationship with worry and why and how that has manifested, right? Which is anxiety. So in that it's like, how do you need to support your brain to move through that negative and like lower vibrating chatter and dynamic that's in there into something that's more positive that helps you elevate and uplift. So last card, which I was like, you're gonna laugh with me because of what this the dolphin card was about. But our next card is letting go. Learn to let go. It's a process. So wherever you're at with it, it's a about not judging yourself, not judging myself, and continuing to do the work, right? Healing is action. All of these things are actions. Life is constantly changing. Nothing ever stays the same. People come and then go. Some exit quietly without you realizing it, and some go with a loud bang. In the constant flow and changes of life, we get stuck with unhealthy habits, unhealthy relationships, unrewarding jobs, unrealistic dreams, and the like. You may have created an unhealthy attachment or bond to something or someone that no longer serves you in a positive way. You have the innate courage to acknowledge the situation and know that change is inevitable. It also brings with it a new found freedom and spiritual growth. The mantra is I am ready to free myself from situations that no longer serve me. Wow. It's funny in our search for control, we often want to control like the dizziest aspect of the whole thing, where it's like, if we just realize that we are empowered in these situations and that we can control what we want to do and that we have a say in our lives, it almost is like, okay, I think I can handle that I don't have control over you and what you're doing. So letting go is absolutely a process. And my I really encourage you to really be okay to be honest with yourself about where you're at with that, because wherever you're at with it isn't bad. It's all about just like acknowledging and owning the truth. Like, what is it really? Um, we don't have to assign a negative or positive value to it. It's like this is just what it is. So, what do you need to do? Because you really can turn around any situation, and there are millions of stories about that online. On different daytime television shows of them talking to people who literally, had nothing and totally took that journey to commit to doing what they needed to get to where they wanted to go. So, life is a long game, and I know that we never know when we're gonna shift into the next thing. I'm not gonna say death. I don't really believe it's a death. But whatever comes when our soul is ready to leave this body, um, you know, we just need to keep going with it and be open to it and know that we can do it. So it's certainly worth it. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in learning more about Reiki or having a conversation about Monate, which is a award-winning vegan hair and skincare line, they're really wonderful. I would love to chat with you if you want to have a conversation about mentorship work or card readings, and any of the other things that I do, including teaching level Reiki levels 1, 2, and 3. I definitely want to hear from you. Have a lovely day, and I'm looking forward to our next reading. Bye.